Hey everybody, this is Javi. You're watching the Bowtie Psychic here on YouTube. I'm a psychic and intuitive medium who focuses on divination and storytelling to help people overcome generational trauma. And this is actually the Daily Messenger segment. Sorry, it's a bit late. I was really tired. I haven't been sleeping very much lately, so that's one of the reasons why this video was so late. In fact, I don't know if I told you this yesterday, but I'm just going to start doing videos at night because it just seems to me like that's when I'm the most functional. And so when I tapped in, the first thing I received, well, before I even begin, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this. Like, I really appreciate you and your energy. I definitely appreciate it. So if this resonates with you, let me know. And also follow the channel or subscribe to the channel, write comments and share. Like the more you share, the more likely it is to show up in the newsfeed, and then it'll start to spread. The message will start to spread. My thing is to, you know, help as many people as I possibly can. So thank you again for showing up. I really appreciate it. I don't know about everyone else, but when I was tapping in, I had some interference um, lately. Like I'm assuming that I was it's because I was tired, but I'm not the only one who has been like a bit off. And it's because of um, of today and the energy of today. There's a lot of people who may be feeling overwhelmed right now, feeling very disconnected, very off, in regards to, their spirituality or anything of that nature, is because we're changing. There's a lot of people too that's going through a lot of heartache and going through a lot of overwhelm, and because of the changes that are happening, they don't know what to do with those changes. Is not a coincidence at all, because it's still Virgo season, and Virgos um, have a tendency to become overwhelmed, especially when they do a lot of projects, and they have a tendency to judge themselves harshly when something isn't done. And they're also action oriented people, even though it's an Earth sign. They're very action oriented. We're being told to slow down. We're being told to slow down and to basically allow ourselves to be grateful for what we've done so far, to be grateful for what we've done so far and not be so hard on ourselves. I feel like a lot of people, the energy of a lot of people beating themselves up and being very hurt by the messages that they are getting. And that's probably one of the reasons why I'm getting a lot of messages, because I'm feeling a lot of negativity around the self and negativity around one's accomplishments. And we're all being told to basically settle down and we're going to be okay. Just breathe. We're going to be okay. There's a lot of people who are just like, I'm tired and I want to give up. And that's usually as a result of overwhelm and just feeling very discouraged. So I'm going to give you this word right here. Don't give up. Please be vigilant. In fact, that's one of the cards that we have, here. But basically, we're being all being told to just allow ourselves to be, allow ourselves to be who we are at this moment, to relish in who we are at this moment, celebrate who we are at this moment, and and not be so hard on ourselves. A lot of us who have gone through the spiritual journey, starting the spiritual journey, we don't know where to begin, or if we have begun, we are not where we are what we have envisioned ourselves to be. We're not where we envision ourselves to be, and it's very overwhelming. It's very, very discouraging. So we feel like we're not doing something right, and we're not doing something, we're disobeying spirit in some way, shape, or form, and that's not the case at all. It's just pretty much time to, if we need to revamp, you know. But right now, we are all being told, the people that are meant to see this video, we're being told by spirit to just be who you are in this moment. There is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. There's nothing wrong just for today. Okay, there's nothing wrong on any day. When everything will be aligned, everything will come through. Don't put that chokehold on yourself, and That's what I was getting. Don't put that chokehold on yourself. But I was just like, I know that I was like in another video, because I just did another video, because I was like, I was just getting all kinds of interferences, and I'm like, what does this all mean? And basically, what I was getting from spirit is like, get the chokehold away from me, get that energy away from me, as far as you feeling as if you have to be someone that you are not, um, to in order to fit in, or in order to make someone else happy. And that's one of the reasons why there's so much anxiety too, because I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, and I'm feeling a lot of hurt, and I'm feeling a lot of pain around identity. And so I'm getting from spirit, um, to let you know that you're fine, you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you, and it's the world is being like chaotic right now, because there's a lot of changes that are happening in this world, and especially if you're an empathic, people are feeling it, and they don't know what to do with that stuff. So that's what I'm just told, like, to love yourself, to be honest with yourself, and to not change anything about yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. There's nothing that you're saying wrong. People are, you're not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. But do not put yourself in a position to put yourself down or think that there's something wrong with you when there isn't. Okay. So yeah, I'm just getting a lot of, just breathe. Just breathe. I'm feeling, I'm just getting a lot of hurt around, people don't like me. People don't understand where I'm coming from. People are not seeing me. And that's not the case at all. I am getting that you're perfect as you are. And it's also okay to be sad. It's okay to be sad, but don't sit in it to the point where you're slipping into a deep depression, because our mind has a tendency to tell a story that isn't true, that we're no good, and that we are, um, and that we are never going to be any further than where we are, and that is not the truth at all. Okay, that's not the truth. And so you're being told to basically start doing, again, start doing ritual work around self-image and self-esteem. You know, start writing some things about yourself, that some qualities that you like for yourself, and read them off at your altar, read them off at the mirror, or tell yourself, do a mirror work is very important. Basically, look at yourself in the mirror, and basically, how I do it is basically hypnotize myself by looking at my own self and allowing spirit to see to introduce me to my higher self, because we all have a higher self. We all have a higher self. And so we're basically being told to connect with that higher self in order for us to see our dignity, our self dignity, and our strength, because we have it. We just have this tendency to look down upon ourselves when we're overwhelmed. Um, I'm just getting love and honor yourself. Love and honor yourself. Love and honor yourself. Okay, love and honor yourself. Okay. Yeah, I'm just feeling a lot of heartache because people's feelings were hurt today. People's feelings were hurt. People's feelings were hurt. People's feelings were hurt. I'm sorry that happened, because it has nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you in the long run. It has nothing to do with you at all. It's just that certain people in your life are going through things, and they're taking it out on you. Is perfectly normal to take it personal. But what I am getting is that it's also okay for you to just shake it off, and also know that spirit loves you. You have a whole spirit team looking out for you, and there's nothing wrong with you as a person. Um, it's just there's a lot going on, and people are feeling it. Also, there's like the energy shift, excuse me, energy shift that's going on with other people too. So you're also, and it's tiring. There's a lot of people who are also tired, as a result of these feelings of inadequacy and overwhelm. So basically, you're being told to take care of yourself, do some self care work, what that looks like to you. Um, Make sure that it is very fulfilling and that you are not doing something that's destructive, but something that is calling to your spirit, something that is um, making your spirit glow. And I'm seeing like the heart, um, like an image of the heart beating. And it's like, it's the more you just start to, it's like, let me tell you what it looks like. The heart that I'm seeing, it's like, is glowing. Parts of it are glowing on the outside, but it's also black. So that tells you right there, like, there's just very hurt, and there's not a lot of life in your heart right now because of, like, energetically, because of the hurt and the overwhelm. But I'm also getting to that there's still a little bit of hope there. It's not broken. It's just right now it's just very hurt. You're very hurt. So do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for your spirit. Cleanse your spirit, and own that happiness that is your birthright. Okay. If you need to, like, take a walk, hug a tree, I know that works. You know, because you're transferring that energy, that grounding energy from one of your sentient being to another. You can take a walk. If well, depending on where you are, take a drive, go for a swim. Do some. Watch a movie, something that would bring life into your energy. Because right now, or if you need to meditate, um, talk to your ancestors, talk to spirit, but don't leave that in yourself, inside of yourself. Because the more love your heart receives, the more life you're going to have, the more happiness you're going to have, and the more likely you are going to know that you're not by yourself. Okay. I'm also getting to take a like a spiritual bath, like to cleanse your aura, because especially if you're an empath, because there's a lot of people who are just taking on people's energy, and that also causes the overwhelm because your aura is now dirty, and so you are to take a spirit bath. What I usually use is apple cider vinegar, baking soda, um, salt, especially sea salt. Epsom salt is actually really good too because it pulls away the toxins and it cleanses your energy. And I also put Florida water in my water, and so what I end up doing is, like, while I'm in the bath, like, put all that stuff in some water, in some hot bath water, stay there for about 30 minutes, an hour, cleanse your whole body, put water, splash water onto your body, wash your face with it, and do it while you are playing some meditative music, maybe some drumming, maybe some humming, maybe uh, 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 flute, you know what I mean, or some nature sounds or whatnot, and basically, like, at, connect with spirit, wash your third eye or whatnot, and then afterwards, if you want to, always take a shower. Like, afterwards, after you do your spiritual bath, there are people who add. Oh, I have one friend who adds roses, who added roses, for self love. If you want to use crystals, Reiki infused crystals, you can do that as well. There's so many other ways that you can do that, but first and foremost, cleanse your water with those main ingredients, and then use the crystals or whatnot, or wash yourself with the crystals. I want to say once a week. Do that once to 3 times a week. The apple cider vinegar, baking soda, salt concoction, do that once a week, and then the rest of the week, if you can, also do the crystal baths. So that's all I have for the intuitive reading. If that that overwhelmed, if that resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, you can actually subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share with your friends. Um, Let people know that I'm here. Because the more people who know, the better. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, the Bowtie Psychic. And I am always posting. I'm always doing things. I'm also going to be doing more story-oriented posts too about myself, because I notice that when I share things about myself, I also get a lot of feedback because people resonate with what I'm saying. So that is why I'm doing this for, so I can connect with people and use my own personal story to do that. So um, I I'm going to move on to the cards right now, and I actually am using something called the Messenger Oracle. Let me show you. Um, I was trying to use my other cards, and for some reason, it wasn't working. I was wondering why there was like some pushback from Spirit. Is because I was supposed to use the Messenger Oracle cards right here. And these are really cool for those who are into nature and into any sort of um, fantasy or shamanic readings. So I really really recommend that particular um, oracle deck. So what I received here is the Be Vigilant card. And basically, what I'm getting from this is do not give up and do not give in to your overwhelm or give up in general on life, because there are many times where we get so discouraged that we don't want to do anything anymore. We just give up on everything. We give up on our life. We give up on our dreams. We give up on our spiritual journey. And then we end up falling into a deep depression, or our lives become very very much disarray as a result of that, or worse. So Spirit is basically saying is that do not give up on yourself. You're just as valuable. You're very much a treasure to this world. You are very much a beacon of hope for people who are who are looking for people like you, who are looking for your story, who are looking for what you are here to offer, or what you there people are very much connected to your purpose. And so you're being told to, you know, when it comes to your trauma and when it comes to, working through your trauma, don't give up, and please don't do it alone, because there are many other people out here who are doing the same thing that you're doing. They have um, not only are they doing the same thing that you're doing, but they are also, going to relate to your story. So by all means, don't give up and don't give in, and don't give in to the negative thoughts either, because again, we receive those thoughts, receive those messages, that had nothing to do with us, but everything to do with people who are in power and control over us, or didn't see their own divinity. And as a result of that, we stored a lot of those messages in our mind, in our subconscious mind, and they still play um, every once in a while. They still play all the time. We are often triggered, you know, by something, or we feel that we're triggered by something. But what ends up happening is that is not about the person um, in general, but what triggers us about what a person says or a person does, or what the person in general. What ends up happening is that they reminded us of our trauma in some way, shape, or form, and they trigger off, something that we stored in our subconscious mind. Also, what's stored in our subconscious mind is what drives our actions. And so when we get, to a point where we feel as if we cannot do anything, and we give up on it, it's because of what our subconscious mind is telling us. Our subconscious mind, those thoughts, are basically telling us that whatever we're doing is not good enough. Whatever we are doing is not helping people, or is not important. We're not important, so on and so forth. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of folks commit suicide, because we feel it's never outside something, because of something outside of ourselves. It's because something within us, unfortunately, has been stored into our mind that pretty much tells us that, or we get those messages that basically tells us that we are not good enough for somebody. And that basically, in a sense, affects us to the point where we tell ourselves that we are not good enough for this world anymore. So basically, what we're getting from this card is not to give up. Don't give up. Don't give in. And this is the time for you to do um, uh, some sort of moon energy work where you are cleansing your subconscious mind. If you if that look whatever that looks like, um, please do it. Whether you be lighting a candle at your altar, or you are having a bonfire outside, and you're ripping and paper, you know, um, a list, that consists of a list of all your negative thinking, and you put it in the fire because fire is a representation of cleansing. Then go ahead and do that. Ask your ancestors to help you with that ritual, to come through and support you. So you are not energetically by yourself. Ask for the highest and best of your ancestors to come through, not only from this lifetime, but many other lifetimes as well. Um, Ancestors from alternate universes, and also of your intergalactic ancestors, because again, I can't stress it enough. A lot of us are extraterrestrials, have been extraterrestrials, and now we're living human experiences. And so you're being asked and being told to not give up at all on your life. Let me see, because this card is a little small. Do not give up on your life. Do not give up on yourself. And you're not alone. Okay, that's the first card. The second card that we have here from the Miracle or the Messenger Oracle deck is the this card right here. It is Honor Gaia. Gaia is basically Mother Earth. She is the she is the all the elements. She is the sun, the moon, the stars. She's the reason, why we are here according to, some mythologies. She is basically the heart, of who we are, the heart of the earth, the heart of the um the rivers and the lakes and the trees and the forests. She is the reason why we and also, like, she gives us messages. Gaia gives us messages, not only, anything that pertains to the earth, but also she's connected to spirit. She is very much a spirit guide, okay? A spirit guide, a deity in her own right. And so basically what this card is saying is that honor her, honor your ancestors, honor yourself, honor your inner deity, honor your inner divinity, honor your spiritual self. Okay. And when you, in order to not give up, in order to not give up and to give in to whatever adversity you're going through, know that you are to honor your inner divinity. Because when you honor your inner divinity, there's nothing to give up on. Because you know that you're of your strength, you're reminded of your strength, you're reminded of your power, your inner power, your connection to spirit, you're connected to your connection to your ancestors, your wise ones, your guardian angels, archangels, elementals you work with. You are connected to those. You're also connected to people outside your community. It's not just a spiritual connection. It's your family, your friends, your chosen friends, or your chosen family. Whatever that looks like to you. Not every family member is blood. So you're being told to, like, honor Gaia with being connected, not just to the spirit world, but to your friends and family. Because what ends up happening is that when you are, willing to give, when you are giving up, you isolate. I know that when I was doing that, when I had depression, I isolated. And when I isolated, I was in the worst of ways. And sometimes when you isolate your head, it becomes your brain rather, it's a dangerous neighborhood because of your subconscious thoughts. And if you have anxiety, you will get also, unfortunately, get the message that no one wants to be around you. And that's not the case at all. That's a lie, that your anxiety tells you to keep you isolated from people. In most cases, from spirit too. Okay, because that negativity, because there's negativity, there's low vibrational energies. There's low vibrational energies here, and that low vibrational energy wants you to be in a certain place. So that's why you're being told that to be connected to your chosen family and to be connected to spirit at all times. Because you're like seriously, like an amazing person. Spirit wanted me to tell you that you're very amazing and you are very much a beacon of light and a beacon of hope for someone out here in this world. To a lot of people. And when you are not connected and you are isolating, people are not able to be a part of your world. Not everyone is able to be a part of your light. I'm not saying that you are to be, in somebody's face 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but I am saying that you are very much important. You are very much an important part in someone else's life. You have a story here in this world. Allow people to hear it. Allow yourself to be connected. Allow yourself to see your power and your own divinity so you can share your gifts to the world. And I'm just getting, and a lot of the overwhelm comes from not feeling good enough, and I get it. I get it. I sometimes fall in that category as well. But what I'm getting is that you are extremely important. You are extremely important, and to stay connected. I'm just seeing the universe. I'm seeing the universe, and it's very beautiful. It's very colorful. I'm seeing like an orange and white. I don't even know what it is. Like a light. It's like a sheet or some sort of light, and behind it is basically the universe. It's like literally an ocean of stars filled with planets and possibility. You're part of that. You are a part of that. I want you to recognize that you're a part of that. You are a part of someone else's world, let's be real, in someone else's universe. You're someone's ancestor. You're someone's ancestor. In this world, in this lifetime, you are someone's beacon of light and beacon of hope. So please be aware of that and know that you are just as important as your story, as in your story is just as important as you are. For this card right here, you got seek the lesson. Seek the lesson. Every lifetime that we go through, we have a lesson to learn. In fact, we go through many lifetimes to learn many lessons, to learn the one lesson. Because there is one main lesson that we all are to learn. Tap in the spirit to see what your lesson is. Look at patterns. Look for patterns. Because there are people who go through the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And they don't even, and it's only until they learn that lesson that they, they have a spiritual contract, as part of their spiritual contract, that they learn that lesson. And once they do, that's it. You no longer have to go through this cycle, because that's one of the reasons why people come back to Earth. People come back to another life. It's because they have not learned that lesson yet. My lesson, story time, my lesson is to have confidence and to know of my role in this world. The part of the lesson In fact, the main lesson that I am learning is that I have to use my gifts to to show to help raise the consciousness of this world, to show people that it's okay for them to be who they are. It's okay for them to speak up, and it's okay for them to be strong and confident. In other words, it's okay for people to stand in their own power and see their own spiritual strength, and to do it through stories. Because according to some of the past life readings I received, I was a spiritual advisor. I was a witch at one point. I was a slave at one point. I was a I was a man, who lived in the 1930s, was also a spiritual advisor. And every time, like I was, in Africa at one point. I was a woman in Africa at one point, and I was always watching children and made sure that the children were okay. And actually I could see her, as I speak. Heavy set woman, very like heavy set woman, dark skin, very beautiful, and always like a radiant. She was very radiant. She was very radiant. And she just loved children. My lesson throughout all my lifetimes, was to have confidence in who I was. Because there was a time when, especially when I was a spiritual advisor, people did not understand what I was saying. People had an issue with what I was doing, because it had everything to do with what I'm doing now, which is speaking to spirits, being connected to spirit, the spirit world, to the spirit world rather. And I was persecuted as a result, which is why up until this point, until I went on the spiritual journey, I stayed to myself, because I felt like people did not understand what I was doing or where I was coming from. That if I started talking about, people being extraterrestrials or in past lives, people will have a problem with that and will think I'm crazy. So I stayed quiet. This is also, another reason why I was subjected to bullying when I was a child. I was always getting my ass whooped when I was a kid, because I was considered weird and ugly and fat. I stank. I'm dirty. That's what I was called as a child, sometimes by other family members. But I went through that and survived that, just so I can get to this point. So I can, for one, be who I am today, and secondly, um, to 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 basically stand before other people and recognize my power and recognize my voice, so I can raise a consciousness using the human consciousness, and help raise the consciousness of survivors by sharing my story. This is about seeking a lesson is about fulfilling your spiritual contract, which is why past life work, uh, past life regression is so important, because then you'll be able to see your lesson. You'll be able to see the parallels between this life and the other lives before this one. You're being told to seek the lesson. This is one of the reasons why you're being asked to stay with spirit, to not give up, and to connect with Gaia, connect with spirit, Connect with your spirit team so you can learn your lessons through trial and error. So you can learn your lesson and fulfill your spiritual contract and to, you know, be along your spiritual journey and not be afraid of that to the point where you are not fulfilling your contract. Doing very, you're not doing anything to seek your purpose. Some of y'all know your purpose, but you're afraid to seek it out. This is one of the reasons why um, people who practice hoodoo, they um, they 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 or any sort of African traditional religion, they start connecting with spirits. They start getting all these messages. They start seeing, what their purpose is, and they run away because of miseducation or perception of their gifts, or just lack of information, just fear, or they grew up Christian, or they revert to Christianity. But another book that I read, I'm reading about shamanism. In the introduction, a woman was called to be a shaman, but she did not adhere to that call. Adhere to that call. She's a Christian now, but before then, she fell into a deep depression because she wasn't serving her purpose. She ran away from it. And now she may have to go through another lifetime before she realizes what she was supposed to be doing. Being told to hang on so you can seek your lesson, so you can see your purpose. Okay? So you also got follow the moon. Okay? The moon is a very powerful tool for release and manifestation. The moon is very beautiful. It is also very powerful. I used to get headaches whenever I upgraded. I used to get a lot of moon headaches or full moon headaches. And it's because that was my way of upgrading. I don't even think I could upgrade anymore. I think I'm done. But what I'm getting is, or maybe you don't stop upgrading. You always earn a superpower until you're done, right? But um, what I'm getting from this card is that this is a time for us to do a lot of release. Once you start to seek your lesson and you understand your lesson, you start to see your power, and you'll be able to see the power of like your subconscious thoughts, your subconscious mind. You'll start to release that stuff and let it go. You start to see what to leave behind because it hindered you in some way, shape, or form. I noticed that there's also stars where the moon is. Stars are in a traditional tarot deck. They're known for their spiritual power. They're known for you seek and seeing your own power, seeing your own light, seeing your own spirit, seeing your own wisdom. That's another thing too. The moon is about wisdom, powerful wisdom, spiritual wisdom. Don't run away from your gifts is what I'm getting from this card as well. You'll learn how to hone your gifts. You'll learn your own power. You'll learn so much about yourself when you start to release and let go and use the power of the moon to manifest. It's actually good for those who are working with the moon or plan on doing that to learn about moon spells and learn of or root work or any sort of again candle work or any type of spell work around the moon, any sort of ritual around that. Because the moon, when you start to release and let go, I'm just seeing a lot of bonfires in the woods or bonfire in an open at the beach or like near a wooded area on native reservations. I'm not saying you go to a native reservation if you're not native. Don't do that to yourself. But basically, um, it's kind of like that, um, like a bonfire around wooded areas, being a part of nature, and just releasing and letting go. I'm seeing people have done that already. I'm seeing that other people, especially during the summer, uh, either like the end of the summer or right now during the fall. I see a lot of people doing bonfires, and like the fire is like is small. It's nothing huge or anything like that. But basically, people are sitting around this fire. I'm also seeing water, because water is also a very cleansing tool. It's a very water is cleansing, being in flow, being always constantly moving, very emotional, very expressive. The water is known for that. And people are just releasing and letting go by talking and allowing themselves to be nurtured, held, comforted. That's the vision I'm getting. And there's a lot of people who have done that, maybe, who more likely have done that. I'm just getting that it's time to be part of nature. It's time to be a part of, you know, something bigger than your feelings, is something bigger than yourself as far as your ego, and start to let things go, because you are very much, I'm not, needed is such a, needed is not the good, is the best word, I think is a work, a whack word. But what I'm getting is that you're very much necessary. You're necessary. Your story is necessary. Your presence is necessary. In order for you to be your optimal self, changes are to be made. And the changes mean letting go of things that no longer serve you. Letting go of that relationship that no longer serves you. Letting go of behaviors that no longer serve you. Letting go of any sort of coping mechanism that keeps you from spirit or keeps you from being your best self. Letting go of people who don't see that you are to change, that or have an issue with you changing. It's time for you to let that go. That's why the Follow the Moon card came out, because a lot of us are afraid of letting something go, and it's actually for your own good that it happens. You're not by yourself. You're not by yourself at all. So it's time. And I just feel like this energy shifting. Fall is so good for them. It was a very cozy energy. It's not very overwhelming. It's it's just, it's not like this oppressive energy. It doesn't, you don't have this pressure of being young and fun. You don't have this pressure of engaging in behaviors, and being with this energy of action all the time, because that's what summer did for a lot of people. It was like a energy of action and youth. But now we get to settle down. Now you get to reflect. Now you get to, you now have the energy necessary, and the wherewithal necessary, and the time necessary to just sit down and be yourself, and start to reflect on what you and what your future is going to be like. But in order for you to even take it, in fact, That's probably where I'm like time to reflect. It is a very important card because that's probably where that energy came from. Because fall is the time to reflect. It's such the time to reflect. And it's so nice to do that because now you're not giving up. You're respecting, like you are connected to spirit. You're seeking your lesson. You're letting things go. And in the meantime, you're reflecting. You're reflecting on who you were, different versions of yourself. This is also the time for you to start thinking about thanking and connecting with different versions of yourself. The versions that kept you alive, the versions that kept you from going overboard, the versions that have gone overboard but have come back. It's time for you to thank those people and to reflect on those people without judgment. I know, like Virgo season is about at this point it's about non-judgment. I know that Virgo season, a lot of Virgos, have the tendency to judge themselves harshly and judge other people harshly at times, especially when there's work or lack thereof involved. But you're being asked to go against, the Virgo energy of working and hoping that people watch and people, and judging people who do not, who aren't where you are. It's time for you to start allowing yourself the time to settle, to down, and to, and to allow, excuse me, and to allow yourself to be quiet. Allow yourself to be quiet and reflect on those versions of yourself, the person that you once was, those people, you know, um, people at 5 years old, 10 years old, 20, you know, your teen years. Reflect on those people, reflect on them, reflect on their behavior, because more, depending on when you were molested or when you went through your abuse, your that changes you. And you act as if. It's as if your brain is wired a certain way, because of the abuse. There's studies that have shown that, that abuse shapes, it rewires your brain. And because of that, you're going to act as if. Your brain and your thoughts play a huge part in how you act. Your subconscious thoughts play a huge part in how you react to people and how you show up in the world and how you react, and act for yourself and act towards yourself. It's time to connect to those older versions of yourself and have a conversation with them. Thank them for what happened and let them tell their story because they also have a story to tell. This is especially important for those who are like trans people, um, like myself, who have um, who were a certain way before they transition, whether it be a physical transition, social transition, or energetic transition. Connect with that person you used to be. Share their story. Because I don't know about everybody else, but once I transitioned, it's as if I just started over. It was a clean slate, and I actually forgot who I was. And she came back tenfold and was like, "No, you're not going to forget me. I have too much to say right now. My life would not be in vain because you changed." because you transition. And I know I'm not the only one who has gone through that, not the only trans person who has gone through this. Um, so this is if you are a trans person, um, regardless of what that is or what that looks like, because let's be real, you don't have to have surgery in order to be trans. Come on now. Connect with that person because they have a story to tell. They're not to be forgotten. They can help you with your reflection. They can help you reflect on some things that may still be hurting you. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your strength. I love doing the daily messenger. This is really cool. Um, it's just something that I feel like I have to do to just keep my channel current. And I feel like this is actually, it feeds my spirit. If it feeds my spirit, I know it feeds yours. Um, and if this reading resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, you can subscribe to the channel, the Bowtie Psychic channel. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Please share, comment. I would really love your feedback to see, or like I would really like to talk to you in general. Like I really want to, get to know my followers or anyone who is going to follow the page. Um, and if you would like a more in-depth reading, you can go to thebowtiepsychic.com to schedule an appointment. I'm also going to have people like do donations as well, you know, because like everything I do is an energy exchange. So if every penny that goes, you know, any penny that you donate will go towards the channel in some way, shape, or form. So again, thank you so much um, for hearing me and for witnessing me. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.